Hi, hello, and welcome back, everybody, to Wolf Tales. Last time, we had a nice meal prepared by Minardi, and soon after, we all went to sleep. So, as said last time, we're going to be seeing what the next day has to offer for us. Bright and early as the morning sun lights up my room. In spite of the hellish blizzard from 2 days ago, it seems that the weather has begun to clear up and the freezing cold is becoming more tolerable by the day. At this rate, I'll soon be able to go outside without overdressing. Filled with optimistic thoughts, I leave my bedroom and return to the main living area. The moment I enter the room, a strong odor reaches my nose and I instinctively turn towards the kitchen. "Come on," Furyu says. "Isn't it done yet?" she says exasperatedly. "No matter how many times you ask, breakfast isn't going to be ready any quicker," Minardi says to Furyu. "If you're looking for something to do, why don't you go wake up Fuckboy King?" I'd rather smother him in his sleep," Furyu says. "Just you try it, little girl, see what happens," I respond. Yeah? Furyu says. Furyu jumps back in surprise as she suddenly hears my voice directly behind her. "Oh, Fuckboy King, you're awake," Minardi says excitedly. "You're just in time. Breakfast will be ready shortly. Please, take a seat, and I'll bring the food out when it's ready," she says. "Oh, okay," I respond. "I'll leave it to you then." Having no intention of stopping Minardi while she is cooking, I do as she suggests and sits down on the couch. Furyu says. "Miserable human preying on the princess's kind nature." "Oh, shut up," I say. "It's not like I asked her to cook me breakfast or anything. Besides, you seem pretty eager to take advantage of her kindness yourself," I respond. "Just a second ago, you were sitting on the floor with your tail wagging like a dog waiting for its master to feed it." "A dog?" Furyu says indignantly. "You're comparing me to a dog?" "Well, yeah," I say. "That's what you looked like," I say to her. "Besides, dogs and wolves are pretty much the same thing anyway, right?" Do not insult me, human," Furyu says angrily. "Wolves and dogs are nothing alike." I smirk to myself as I enjoy Furyu's reactions. "Oh, how so?" I ask. "I thought dogs and wolves were descended from the same ancestor." "That doesn't mean we're the same," Furyu says angrily. "You wouldn't mix up a human and a monkey, would you? Dogs are pitiful, subservient creatures who only know how to bow before human beings," Furyu says. "Wolves, on the other hand, are proud hunters. We don't need the help of any other race to survive." I say. "So a proud, independent creature like a wolf would never do something like, I don't know, sleep in a human's cabin and eat their food?" I ask. Furyu says. Furyu's face contorts into displeasure. Her claims of independence hold little weight at the moment given our current predicament. That's different," Furyu says. "It is?" I ask her. Furyu says. "What about you?" she asks. "Me?" I say. "Yeah," Furyu says. "What are you even doing out here? This is no place for a human being to live. What are you, exiled or something? Is this your punishment?" she asks. Were you caught doing something heinous and banished from society forever?" she asked me. "Yeah, that must be it. You did something unforgivable and you were sent out here to live the rest of your days in solitude." "How could I have missed this before?" she asked. "Now I feel in danger just being in the same room as you." A look of panic spreads across Furyu's face as she slowly backs away from me. "Would you please stop smearing my good name?" I ask her. "I moved out here of my own free will because I don't get along with other people, that's it," I respond to her. Hearing my explanation, Furyu stops backing away and begins to look at me with eyes filled with curiosity. "You don't like other humans?" Furyu asks. "That's the short version, yeah," I respond. "Then what about us?" Furyu asks. "You and Minardi?" I ask. Furyu nods. "You let both of us into your home." "You forced your way into my home," I respond. "And you haven't tried to kick us out or anything." Is having us here causing you distress?" not particularly. I almost reply yes without thinking about it, but before I can do so, Furyu puppy dog eyes kick in once more. Looking at her pitiful, pleading eyes, I cannot bring myself to call her a nuisance. I don't know, I say. A bit weird to have you two here, but it's not the same feeling I get whenever I'm around other people. Honestly, I'm having a hard time thinking of Furyu as a person. She really does seem more like a mischievous puppy than a rebellious young woman. Maybe it's because I like animals, but I guess you two aren't so bad. That's just my impression so far, though. Give it another few days, I might feel quite differently, I say to her. Is that so, Furyu asks. Furyu analyzes my answer carefully. She doesn't appear to be particularly invested in my answer, nor does it bring her any joy. Her question was one posed out of curiosity with no ulterior motives. Well, Furyu says, I wouldn't worry about you changing your mind. After all, the princess and I won't be staying long enough for you to get sick of our company, Furyu says. No matter how warm it is here, we must return to our pack as soon as possible. That works for me, I think to myself. A couple of nights is more than enough. I've done my good deed for the year now. I just want to be left alone. I nod in agreement with Furyu's statement. I understand. I won't try and stop you from returning to your pack. As soon as the two of you are ready to leave, I will see you off, I say to her. Okay, princess, it's time to go, Furyu says. Furyu, Mirari says. What are you talking about? Please, don't play dumb, princess, says Furyu. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You've had your fun, now it's time we return to our pack. Already? Mirari asks. But we only just... That's my point, says Furyu. We must leave now before we grow accustomed to this lifestyle. Relying on humans is no good, princess. We must return to our own kind. Once the three of us have finished eating breakfast, Furyu wastes no time before making good on her promise. The satisfied smile indicative of a full belly disappears from her face, replaced by a serious expression and a tone of voice to match. Do we have to go back now? Do we have to go back no matter what? Mirari asks Furyu. I quite like it here, and... Princess, Furyu cuts off Mirari. Furyu grabs Mirari by the shoulder. Don't be selfish, she says. You have troubled this human enough, as it is not to mention the worry you have no doubt caused our kin. It is time for us to return, says Furyu. But Mirari says. Mirari turns away from Furyu and casts me a sidelong glance. It's okay if I stay here a while longer, isn't it, Fuckboy King? Princess, says Furyu. I won't cause any trouble, Mirari continues, or do anything you tell me not to do. I'll cook and clean and help out as much as I can, says Mirari, so please. Princess, says Furyu. I avert my gaze as Mirari begins to plead. No matter the reason for her desperation, I can't afford to let her stay. My supplies were really only enough to last me through the winter, and there's also the ethical question of my interfering in half-human affairs. Plus, Furyu said it herself. Mirari family and friends are waiting for her. Her place is with them, not here with me. Mirari, I say. Please, Fuckboy King, just let me, Mirari says. I place my index finger on Mirari's soft lips. Mirari, don't you think you've worried your family enough as is? You belong with the rest of your pack. I understand, says Mirari. Mirari gives up without a fight as I quickly shut her down. Her eyes downcast, she slowly trudges towards the door, not looking back even once. Thank you for not making this difficult, Fuckboy King, says Furyu. Mirari may act different at times, but she really is a reasonable person. Hearing you tell her to go home should be enough. Yeah, no problem, I say. Feeling bad about turning Mirari down, I find it hard to look Furyu in the eye. As my eyes wander around the cabin, I suddenly realize something. Hold on a second, I say. Says Furyu. I take a pair of coats off the rack and present them to Furyu. Here, take these, I say. It's cold out there and you'll need to stay warm. In my response to offer, Furyu shakes her head. I appreciate your kindness, but I have to decline, says Furyu. Our tolerance for the cold is significantly greater than that of humans. And anything less than a blizzard, garments such as these will only get in our way. Oh, I see, I say. I take another look at the outfits Miyari and Furyu are wearing. Indeed, no human would dare dress so sparingly out there. If those two are comfortable while wearing so little, they must indeed have a far greater tolerance for the cold than I do. In that case, I guess this is goodbye, I say. Maybe I'll see you two again someday. Don't count on it, says Furyu. We live on the other side of this mountain. Were it not for the snowstorm, we would have never met to begin with. This shall be our final farewell, says Furyu. Confidently asserting, so Furyu turns her back on me and heads towards the door. As she does so, however, Miyari no longer seems ready to leave. Miyari, I ask? Miyari's eyes shift back and forth. Seems like she wants to say something to me, but can't quite bring herself to speak. Come along, princess, says Furyu. Let us not delay our departure any further. At Furyu's command, Miyari lowers her head and walks along obediently. Miyari unlocks the door, then regretfully sets foot outside, gently pushed along by her dear friend. Moments later, the door slams shut, and at last, I'm alone once more. Alright, everybody, I think I'm going to call it here for this episode. As always, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you for the next installment of Wolf Tales.